We have breaking news from the UFC where superstar Conor McGregor has accepted an 18-month ban for violating the UFC's anti-doping policy. McGregor missed 3 attempted sample collections last year, leading to this ban. His period of ineligibility began on September the 20th, 2024, and will end on March 20th, 2026. The standard ban was reduced from 24 months to 18 due to his cooperation and the fact that he was injured or not preparing for a fight at that time. This would not affect his potential availability for the UFC event at the White House, which President Donald Trump announced is set for June 14th next year. McGregor has not fought since 2021. For much more on this, let's go ahead and welcome in our combat sports writer, Shakiel Mahjouri. Shakiel, it's great to see you. Let's start with the biggest news is that this ban will not affect this White House card for McGregor. We know Dana wants it. We know Conor wants it. He's been loud campaigning to be a part of that event. Is it just now a matter of time that we hear this announcement that Conor McGregor will be fighting at the White House?
You would hope so. I think the big concern with the Conor McGregor fight in the 2020s onwards is it's a little bit of the boy who cried wolf. He talks a lot on social media, he makes big promises, and they never really follow through. To your point, he hasn't fought since July of 2021. He was supposed to fight Michael Chandler at International Fight Week a couple years ago, pulls out with an injured pinky toe. However, there's something so alluring about this White House card that it has every fighter on the roster chomping at the bit to be a part of it. When reporters asked Dana White about John Jones being on this card, Dana said there's about 1,000,000,000 to 1 odds that that happens. Like you said, Jordan, last week, that's still a chance. But when it comes to Conor McGregor, Dana's been very fond of the idea. He says he wants to make it happen. He knows Conor McGregor wants to make it happen. You'd have to think that with a card that's now set to take place on President Donald Trump's birthday, you'd want the biggest star in MMA involved. So, fortunately, this suspension will wrap up in March. It is retroactive. He will be eligible to fight on June 14th should the UFC and Conor McGregor reach a deal. But as Dana White has said, that's not something that's going to start materializing until about February.
It's all sounding like it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when this is actually announced. We'll see. Assuming he will be there, do you expect that to be McGregor's last fight?
I would think so. He has said publicly that he has 2 fights left on this deal. So after the White House card, it would be 1. But like I mentioned moments ago, a Conor McGregor fight is so rare these days that it's hard to think. I think we had kind of gotten to the point where no one really believed he'd ever be back until the unique world stage of the White House was sort of presented. And I think that's a fight that can get Conor there, both in terms of history and in terms of monetary value. But it's been so long since we've seen him fight once. I have a hard time believing he's going to fight twice. I don't think we're going to get another White House card anytime soon. UFC CEO Dana White recently revealed that the company's going to have to spend $700,000 on grass alone. That's how much damage they're going to do to the White House lawn. So if I'm Conor McGregor, I'm thinking if I was already kind of hesitant on fighting again, well, what better way to go out than with a once-in-a-lifetime fight?
Yeah, and I think you nailed it right there. That's why there's so much lure. And as you mentioned just a moment ago, every fighter just chomping at the bit to be a part of that White House card. It's important to note that, though, that Dana White has announced that they will not be negotiating for that White House card till February. Do you know why that is?
A big part of it has to do, well, first thing, these guys have events basically every week. There's so much planning to do both for the White House card and every other event that they're going to roll out. But Dana White has promised that the White House card will be the greatest fight card ever assembled. But before that comes UFC's debut on Paramount. And Dana White has said they have big plans to really kick the door down upon entry into the UFC Paramount era. So all of the promotion's focuses as of right now are let's get to January, let's kick off the year with a major show on Paramount Plus, and then we can start working towards the White House February onwards.
Okay, so if you could pick that main event card for January, what would it be? What would you wish for?
When I look at sort of the landscape of the UFC's title pictures right now, unfortunately, some of the big stars are just omitted. Islam Makhachev would be one who I would think of, but he's fighting Jack Della Maddalena in a super fight November 15th, Madison Square Garden. Alex Pereira was probably a front runner for that, but he announced that he might have broken his foot at UFC 320, so that might put him past January. The guy that sticks out to me, and most importantly, the challenger that sticks out to me, is UFC lightweight champion Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. Ilia globally is one of the biggest stars that the UFC has right now. He knows how to finish fights. He has this deserved, cocky, confident swagger to him. And now that we know that Arman Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker are fighting in a title eliminator, that only leaves two opponents for Ilia Topuria, unless he's going to wait for those guys, and that's Paddy Pimblett or that's Justin Gaethje. Both are good choices. I think Gaethje has probably done a little bit more at the top end of the division to warrant it. And you get a big American star who's super popular with the North American audience to challenge one of the sport's biggest stars in Ilia Topuria. Topuria, Gaethje, that is money.
That would be epic. Well, we will see if you get your wish there, Shakiel. We appreciate you joining us here for some breaking news on CBS Sports HQ. We are just counting down the days until Paramount Plus is the new home for UFC coming in January 2026.